Should you or should you not have a joint account, bank account that is, with your wife or your partner or your spouse? In today's podcast, Cece and I, we're going to talk financials. So stay tuned.
Hey, Mr. Friends, welcome back to another episode. I am your girl, your host, your one and only Cece, and with me is my awesome co-host, the one and only hubby. What's going on, babe?
What an intro. I am good.
I never get an intro like that from you, so.
This is the blissful, the joyful, the smart, the talented Cece.
Oh, I'm flattered. Thank you.
Now that intro is better than mine. Anyway, everybody, this is Will, and thank you for joining us today. We're glad to have you. If this is your first time with us, please remember to like, subscribe, and click on the bell icon so we can tell you when videos like this one come out. Now, this is a weekly podcast, and in this podcast, Cece and I, we talk about
love, life, family, relationships. Y'all know what we do here and whatever comes to mind. So today we're going to talk about more of
money stuff.
Money stuff. Okay, exactly what he says. Money stuff.
Yeah. Now, before we get into the money stuff, we always like to share with you guys, we call it the blissful moment. It's either something we did or something that happened to us. This past weekend, I got a chance to watch I shouldn't say the first. It's been a long time since I've actually sat down and watched a soccer game.
Oh,
and this last Sunday, I actually did. In fact, almost 2 soccer games.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one was late in the day, and we had, but it was fun. We gathered up my in-laws. My brother-in-law came in, brought some pizza with the kids. We got us some KFC. Bad chicken. We got some KFC. Woo. I fasted the next day. I had to.
Yes, like it wasn't bad for me. It was okay for me
because it tasted good.
Well, I had the tenders because KFC had the chicken tenders. I had the tenders with some thin crust pizza because I'm still, doing my healthy eating even though it's summer. But it was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
I enjoyed eating the chicken. I must say,
because last time we had KFC was a long time.
Maybe before COVID.
Before COVID.
Wow,
yeah.
It's been a while.
Before COVID.
No wonder why it seems so expensive.
Yes.
The last time we bought chicken, things weren't that expensive.
Right.
At least from KFC. But yes, I was like, man.
Yeah, but usually we don't get all that chicken, right? It's just the 4 of us. This time we had to
10 of us?
Yeah. And of course it's going to be quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
So therefore it was a mixture of like buckets of
it was
chicken tenders.
It was a mini soccer party.
Yes.
Pizza and chicken. Good thing we had water. Yeah, we didn't have sodas.
Yeah, so the game was good. The game was good.
It was good. It was USA
America
versus
won.
Who were they playing against?
Oh, I don't remember. All I know is
for
that
some reason I wanted to see the other team scored. I don't know why. But
really?
when that game is like the other team, they didn't score once. I wanted to see, at least put one in the hole so
put one in the hole, baby. You play with USA, baby. It's gonna be a tough game, okay? Listen, my family, my parents, they are down in the greedy, needy when it comes to soccer. Like they'll stay up late. They had to be at work the next day. I know my dad had to be at work at 4:30. This man was still up at midnight watching the game. Okay, they're like a big fan when it comes to
soccer.
Yes.
Yeah, I know your mom even doing like off season time. There's always some random games playing on Sunday. Yeah. She always be watching those.
Yes,
stuff.
And back home, I
told her to skip her religious gathering on Monday to watch.
She wasn't going to do that.
But come to find, the game came on at like almost 10 o'clock that night.
9. So Monday night, my brother and I were a big fan of Brazil. Brazil was like on Monday night. Y'all, listen, I would have watched the game if it wasn't for my husband. My husband is not a big fan of nothing. He's one of those people where, I'm going to watch it if I have to, but if I don't have to, I'd rather just do something else. It goes for football, soccer. It goes for basketball, any games, you name it. He's like, do I have to?
Listen, that's me.
It's just that's just how he is. And so when I'm at my brother's house or my mom's, it's a game.
And if I'm there, I'm forced to kind of be part of it.
See, there we go. And it's so funny. It's so funny that Monday night, Brazil, which is like, our team, like USA, Brazil, and Haiti, like on Monday, y'all.
Well, I wasn't in a gathering. I was just doing my own thing. I don't know.
Monday, I was at my house, my brother's house. We were like FaceTiming each other. Like, yo, what's going on? Why isn't it scoring? Why is this guy doing this? It was just so fun because we kind of like going back, way back, having this moment where we watching the game and one is like for the team and the other one is against the other one. And we're just like going back and forth. And this time we both were the same team, but the team wasn't doing much.
So they didn't win?
No. The next day we had to ask my mom because we were both like, we were out because nothing was happening.
Didn't finish watching it?
We didn't finish, no.
Okay.
Listen, I wasn't going to waste my time. Unfortunately.
This is how I feel. I'm not going to waste my time sitting there watching.
Oh my God. You already know when a game is going bad when there's a lot happening. Like if you miss so many goals, right? You know that it's not going to happen. Then therefore you're like, you know what? I don't want to just... It's just discouraging.
Listen, his words, yes, I can enjoy one game if I'm with family and it kind of become part of the gathering. Yes. I don't think I watched that game 100%, but you know, all the highlights, all the stuff, I was in it.
My favorite part of watching the game Sunday was like, me and my mom hollering and screaming. And you were like, what's wrong with you? Yo, like you watching a game, you gotta holler and start screaming because if you're not, who watched the game silently? Who watched the game quietly, I should say?
Well, I want to hear what the announcers are saying.
Like, you gotta go. Like, there's so much going on when you watch a game. Well, there's so much passion.
This is probably my problem. When you're watching a soccer game, it's best to watch it when there's someone announcing the game in Spanish. There's a lot of, it's live. It feels when someone who speaks English is announcing the game, you don't listen. Growing up, all the games that I've watched, they've always been someone announcing the game in Spanish.
Oh,
and
Creole.
Man, I will tell, no Creole.
Really?
No. I enjoy, when that goal is scored, that goal sound is carried on for like minutes. Oh, it's exciting. That's probably why I haven't been. It just doesn't resonate with me. But then again, I could always find something more productive to do. Or at least in my mind seems more productive. but this Sunday was good. I mean, I had a chance to hang out with the family, watch the game, eat some good food. That tasted good, but not good for your inside.
Listen, went out to my mom. Went out to Brazil is playing with the USA. Now that's gonna go down if they make it to the final. It's gonna go down. My mom's gonna cook, watch.
Okay.
We're gonna have.
It's gonna be a party.
We're gonna have a party just like when we used to do back in the old days.
Okay. Let's hope that they play each other. Listen, I never say no to a party, even if it's a soccer party. I'll attend. I'll eat. And I'll enjoy the game. I'll enjoy the company of the people that I'm with, which is exactly what happened this Sunday. We enjoy the company. We ate and we watched the game. We had fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The kids had a good time with their cousins. Yes.
Oh, yes. And I don't think they care much about Actually, they didn't watch the game.
They were doing Minecraft. They were playing Minecraft.
Anyway, so much about my blissful moments. I'm not even going to ask you for yours because you enjoyed mine as well.
Moment. Yeah.
So let's get into the topic of the day, which is money talk.
Money, the devil of all.
No. It could be tough dealing with the money thing.
It is. Yes.
Listen, money is a huge part of any relationship. It can either bring you closer to each other or it can drive a wedge between you.
That's right.
So today we diving into all the ins and the outs of sharing a bank account, which we have, and I'm hoping some of you have, and how we can impact your relationship. Yeah. We'll discuss the benefits, the challenges, and some tips on how to make make it work for you and your partner.
That's right.
Right. So,
That's right.
So yeah, that's today's podcast. You know, we want to make sure that the conversation we're gonna have is relatable and relevant to modern society.
That's right.
While also maybe inspiring you.
Yes.
To create a blissful life.
A blissful life
with your partner.
Yes.
So let's get started.
Yes. Listen, when I was putting the podcast, the content together, right? You know, I had to go into
do some deep research
and see how did the boomers really did so well? Because if we think back, our parents, I don't think my mom have a separate account.
She doesn't need one.
I don't think your mom has a separate account.
She doesn't need one.
So based on the research that I found online, boomers are the most likely to rely on joining account.
Well, yes. You know, mine is yours is mine. We see everything and we kind of spend together.
Yeah. So now when it comes to millennials, y'all, like us people, we are most likely to have separate accounts of any generations. I guess they would count of the Gen
we care about our money.
Yeah, I don't remember what the percentage was, but it was insane when I came across that. But we shared joint account.
We're not normal millennials. Well, I guess we're unusual.
Well, here's the thing about us. So we kind of like have somewhat of boomers mixed with millennials on us. Well,
we were brought up in a slightly different environment. So we're kind of hybrid, right? I think we're old school in some ways, but also very progressive in other ways.
Yes.
So, but yeah, we've held joint account from the moment, even before we got married, we kind of joined account. Now we keep separate. We keep several different accounts for different reasons, but you have access to all of them and I have access to all of them.
Yes. And don't forget the Gen Zs, right?
Oh, Gen Zs. How are they? Are they better than millennials?
No, they're not. They're not.
Okay.
So they're right there with us. Right there with us. I mean, which I'm not surprised at all because I feel like...
Well, it's the millennials raising the Gen Z.
Correct.
So whatever we believe in, we're passing it on to them.
We're passing on to them. And I feel like they are somewhat worse. And when they pass it down to the Alpha generation...
It'll probably get worse.
Yes.
But people like the independence. I like to know that this is mine and it's mine and I want to be able to manage it and I don't want anyone seeing it. I tell you what I want you to know, and anything you don't want to, I don't think you should know, and then you shouldn't be able to sit.
Listen, here's the thing. My mom and I, we always have this conversation when it comes to money, when it comes to things that her and my dad are doing. She always want to make sure that I follow the same guidelines. There's nothing wrong. She is my role model. That's who I look up to. That's who I admire. That's who I want to be when I grow up. And that's who I'm becoming. Hopefully you can handle me.
She's right. She's becoming her mom, especially how she deals with the soccer games, you know? Yep.
Why you sound like that though, baby?
She's becoming her mom.
Why it sound like this is such a bad thing?
You are becoming your mom.
Yes, and you're becoming my dad.
No.
Yes,
no,
you are.
I am not becoming your dad.
Yes, you are. You're becoming my dad.
Becoming your dad. But listen, let's kick things off with the positive of sharing a bank account.
Yes.
It can help build a sense of transparency.
That's right.
You know,
yes,
I see what's going on. You see what's going on.
Yes.
It can help create a sense of unity. You know, when you get married to someone, you says, hey, I am you, you are me. We become one.
This was back in the days.
Listen, people that gets married still make those vows.
Nowadays, you see people are getting married. They said for certain part of the vows, and both of them look at the past and they're like, what? You did not say this when we were taking the lessons.
She saw that in TikTok.
No,
this
I didn't.
Doesn't happen in real life.
But it does happen in real life though, babe.
Then why get married then?
I'm just saying.
Anyway. Listen, when both partners have access to the same account, it promotes open communication.
I agree.
You know, because money conversations is one of the hardest one. However, if you're sharing accounts where we can both see what's going on, it at least makes it a lot easier to start that conversation. Correct. And I think every couple should always have money conversation. Mm-hmm. That's one way to build trust.
Yes.
I'll tell you that.
Yes, it is.
I think she should trust me with the money.
I trust you 100,000%. Like my daughter said all the time.
That's one of the traits from her mom.
True
she
that.
Trusts.
That is so true. And I feel like it makes paying the bills and budgeting simpler. Instead of having different accounts to manage, you can handle everything together in one place. And I feel like too, it takes away the stress from me, right? Because we have that when it comes to us having just the bills, just the bills account. But I get access to it, I see it, and I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Like my mom was telling me, like she goes to the bank and asks the bank teller for
what's the balance?
And she's like, make sure you do that. I'm like, yes, I have it.
You gotta get your mom online.
And I have it on my phone. So therefore I feel like, I don't have to keep checking because I trust my husband. I trust in the things that we say we have together. I trust that, having this make things so much easier.
Oh yes, I agree. It simplifies a number of things. And if we see the same thing, we see what comes in or goes out, especially when it comes to the bills. And, the bills like mortgage and car insurance, those are the big things. You got to make sure that these are taken care of. And if we both knows what they are, where they're coming from, are the money there? Yes, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And that's all part of us working together.
That's right.
What sense does it make that one person handles that and this person has no idea what's happening here and that person is doing this here, and before you know it, we're like living together, but no one knows what's happening with each other financially.
Yeah. So speaking of, as you were talking, I'm thinking about when I used to work at the bank as a bank teller, and I would see a lot of conflict, a lot of people who has issues when it comes to husband not knowing what the wife has in the account, or wife not knowing more.
Don't blame the husband now. Don't blame the husbands now. They always think we're the one doing the wrong thing.
More so the wife not knowing what the husband has going on, because my experiences with the wife has always been, well, I didn't know we had this much money in the account because so-and-so told me we didn't have much. We didn't have this. So when the wife comes to withdraw money, she just, she's not able to, right? Or the wife come deposit money, not knowing there's money in the account, and then they give her the balance. She's like, wait a minute, are you sure this is mine? Because if the husband never shares what's going on, then it makes the other person, like, especially our boomers parents, it makes them like, they're not really aware of whether if they have money in the bank or not.
Yeah. And this is where that communication really comes in, is be on the same page. Be on the same page. It's simplified things for everyone. You know what's going on. I know what's going on. It's no surprise. Now, it's not always sunshine and rainbows when it comes to sharing bank accounts. There are some issues that can come up sometimes.
Yeah.
One big issue is potential conflict when it comes to spending habits.
That's right.
If you're sharing now, I'd say advice to anyone who's planning on sharing an account: have separate accounts. Still share them, but have separate accounts for certain things. The bills account, this is not the account you go and you do your normal other types of shopping. Make sure the money that's for bill goes on the bill account, because the last thing you want is for your wife and go buy maybe whatever she wants to buy, and she pulls it from the money that was supposed to pay the mortgage. So keep separate account. But spending habits can be one of the conflicts that comes in when you're sharing accounts.
That's right.
Where you spending here, I'm spending there and there, and no one knows who's spending what. Or maybe I'm a saver. I don't like to spend. I'm cheap. Something has to be absolutely necessary for me to spend money in it. And you may be a person who's like, you know what? I see the money there.
Spender.
I've always wanted this. I'm going to spend it, even though I may have had maybe two other of the same things, but this one has a slight variation. I'm going to buy it.
Yes.
If you do that, we're going to have problems.
Yeah.
So spending habit can cause problems.
Yes. Absolutely. And I think it's important to have those conversations early on so you can avoid, resentment, because you don't want your spouse to feel, or boyfriend and girlfriend to feel a certain way about you. I mean, if you're dating someone, I don't advise you at all to have an account together.
Well, you could.
No.
Actually, I think it's a good trial run. It's a good test run.
If you're dating someone?
Yeah. If you think this person, you want to be with them long term, test it out. Don't make it the main account, but open an account together and then start sharing it, using it for maybe certain things you're planning. See how this person feels about money. Because I'd rather have you do that during the dating stage.
Well,
then do it after you've already said, I do on the altar. And you're like, oh, snap. This person's got money problems.
Now, here's the thing. You don't want to start as early as 3 months into the relationship.
No.
6 months into the... I mean, at least a year. I would say a year. If you talk about having... I personally don't see if we like really into 2 or 3 years where I see a future where we where you and I like really dating for life, for like partner for life, then yes. So babe, when do you feel like, let's say you're dating someone, when do you feel like it's the right time for you guys to have like a joint account?
It'll vary from person to person. I think it should start with money conversation. I think if you've gotten on, full on intimate with someone, I'm talking about full on intimate.
Okay.
Where, he knows or she knows everything that's going on everywhere with you physically. Everywhere. Then you should start having money conversation.
Okay.
And see, okay.
How early would you say? 6 months, a year into the relationship?
I wouldn't put time on it because I think it'll vary from individuals to individuals. You got to kind of get to see where you are with this person. Okay. Some people like to give it up on the first date. Hey. I don't think you need to start talking money, but if you're the type who gives it up on the first date because you feel like, you know what, we can go somewhere, then start having that conversation. I think that's the way to earn.
Yeah, don't do that.
Right? However, if you've given up your body on the first date, shoot. I think your body's worth a whole lot more than your money. That's me. But people do whatever they feel that's right for them. But on the first date, second date, third date, I think you got to let some time pass to really learn, okay, who is this person? Do I see myself having a future with this person? In that case, if you see yourself having a future, then yes, start having that conversation, which I think if you don't see yourself having a future with someone, you should not be full on intimate with this person. Agree. But then again, that's me.
I agree.
But in terms of time, I don't think there's any specific timeline. You have to kind of gauge to see where you are.
Yeah.
If you see, you know what? I think I've gotten to know this person. I could see me with this person, and obviously that person share that same sentiment. If that person's just there to play, but you're feeling like, then maybe you should consider seeing someone else. But if both of you feel like, you know what, we really see a future with this relationship, then start having money conversation. You can still keep your separate men account if you decided to start joining things together to see how you handle money together. Because when it comes to money, believe me, someone could be the nicest person. They could have the nicest traits. The moment that money gets put in the equation, things starts changing because money changes the way people react. And I think it's a good idea to get a good idea as to how you handle money before we go to whatever the next phase may be in the relationship.
I agree.
Which I think that intimacy piece, full on intimacy, I mean, that needs to be taken into consideration as to when you go that route.
Yes, I agree somewhat. And I have my own, way of doing things. I mean, I think when it comes to dating someone, because money is scary and not everyone wants to talk about that when we dating. This is something that people feel like put a break on it. So when we are in phase 2 into our relationship, we can maybe have this conversation because not everyone is comfortable talking about money, right?
Money conversation is never easy. Another challenge is maintaining a sense of independence. Some people feel like they lose control of their money when they're sharing an account. And it's important to find a balance where both people feel respected and heard. That's very, very important.
Yes, I agree.
You know, some people think that if I'm the one managing my money, I'm independent. But the moment that someone else get their hands in the pot, I lose my control.
Well, this is why I feel like nowadays there's so many people who move to their own thing. They separate because one wants to control their paychecks, their money, and the other one is like, hey, I don't want to split my money because I want to keep it for me. And I feel like in our community, that is a major problem. When you look at, you know, back home, I would say things were different because the wife relied on the husband to take care of everything. Nowadays, of course, the wife is working, the husband is working, everybody make their own money, right? So therefore, they feel like I don't have to share what I'm bringing to the table. So I'm going to keep this for me. And I feel like, too, this is why there's so many young people who don't want to share their accounts with their spouse because they want to have their own money. And it's so interesting when I was going through the topic, one thing I came across on makerate.com was that a lot of people are saying that they don't share an account is because their spouse may have bad credit. And there's another reason why they don't want to share big accounts because let's say if you are a spender and you don't control money well enough, so your spouse feels like, hey, I don't want to have her on the account because she's going to blow it up or he's going to blow it up. So therefore they rather have a separate account, which always causes problems.
Yeah. You know, it's important to look at people's financial history and their attitude towards money, because that can have a big impact on, on the dynamic of the relationship. You know, listen, we all have a history when it comes to money, and that causes us to treat money a certain way.
Yeah.
Some people sees money as, money, you here, I'm gonna spend you.
Yes.
I don't have to think about tomorrow. I'm just going to spend you. And some people say, you know, money, you're here. I want to sit you here and look at you every day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend a dime on anything. So where we come from has a lot to do with how we handle money, which will have a lot to do with how we deal with money within a relationship. So it's important to be open about what's happened in your life financially. If you've gotten debts, if you've... whatever's been happening, have those conversations, because that's why that needs to come up. And together you can kind of figure out, okay, if we're going to be together, this is how we're going to tackle these things.
I truly feel like sometimes if you are from from a house where your parents always talk about money, where they share tips in what's going on when it comes to money, how to take care of it, don't make it like the number one thing in your life, because that's what we do here in my household. We always tell our daughters that this is not the number one priority. Yes, it is important to have because it takes care of the bills, the lifestyle. However, this is not the first thing that we don't put it first. We don't worship it. Okay. There's people who worship, they got to have it. So therefore, knowing how to manage, how to take care of it is so important, because you don't want to just keep saying, I got to have it.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're not sharing with your spouse.
Yes. And this is where, again, going back to the conversation, you have to be very open. Very open. About how you handle money.
So now let's move on to tips, right? For successfully sharing a bank account.
Okay.
So babe, how can couples navigate these challenges and make sharing a bank account a positive experience? And I want you to share your expertise, because you know you're the banking man here.
Oh, the easiest way is the wife gives the husband all the money and let them handle it.
Okay, now I don't know what he's talking about.
Listen. There's no easy way, right? There's no easy way. It's just that when you're in a relationship, you have to know that it's a relationship. It's two people being in it together. And that's where it starts with us communicating.
Yes.
Sit down regularly and discuss your finances. Set some goals. You know, if you're looking to get a house or get a car, fix up the kitchen or renovate the house, have these conversations. And if that's the goal we have, okay, how are we going to plan to make sure we have that goal? Review your budget. Have a monthly or a weekly budget or a yearly budget, whatever. Have a budget. These days, everything is expensive. You know, we were talking about earlier that we went to go buy KFC chicken, and they felt they were a lot more expensive than what we expect they would have been. But you got to have that in your budget. And obviously, we had an idea as to what we wanted to spend on this chicken. Right. And thank God it wasn't more than we were planning on to. But you got to have a budget, because that's how you know. And listen, the beginning of the month is coming, and we go to big grocery shopping at the beginning of the month, and we have an idea as to what we need to spend so we can get the stuff we need. And we only know that it's because we look at what we need and look at what we've spent, and we look at the cost of goods, groceries, and we build our budget around that.
Right.
So this keeps both partners in the loop and make sure that we can all be in the same page as to what we need to do. So it starts with communication and have regular discussion about your finances.
And we do that here all the time. Here's the thing about us here. The thing about both of us is we're both Capricorns, and Capricorns are all about business mindset, money mindset, and all that good stuff, right? We're constantly talking about ways of working things around where we're not so much focusing on like the money part, but at the same time, how can we have a better lifestyle? Because we all...
And listen, here's the conversation we have.
Okay.
This is where things are.
Yeah.
This is what's going on in our businesses. This is what we need. But first, this is what we have, and how we're going to make what we have work. But this is what we're working towards.
Right.
And we're very upfront with those things.
Very.
She'll call me out when I'm not doing things I'm not supposed to do to get to that goal.
We're supposed to.
And I try not to call her out as much because she'll feel a certain way, but I will still call her out. So we have this conversation because at the end of the day, we're building something together.
That's right. I agree.
So if we're at the store and want to buy this, but it wasn't in the budget and it's too expensive, yeah, I'm going to say... No, we're not getting that.
We're not. Although he's looking to get a grill for the summer, and I'm like,
getting that.
Let's see. One thing about me is that I'm grateful for the way that I do think things through, and I'm thankful for my parents too, and my mom.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, when it comes to buying something, I always look at, it could be like the entrepreneur mindset of me right now too. What is the investment in this? You would want to buy a grill because the one that we have now is really like on its last leg standing or whatever, right? So,
you know, I may be able to build a wooden cage.
He wants to buy a grill, and I'm like, okay, let's look at the investment. How long would this give us? Would it give us 5 years, 6 years? You know, you want to look at that. It is an investment. You got to get your money's worth out of it. And you got to make sure that you make it worth the money. So we potentially probably going to get one because, you know, July 4th is like next week. Okay. In 2 weeks from now or next week.
It is next week.
It is next week. Next
Thursday.
This
is the last Saturday of June.
I cannot believe it. So July 4th is next week.
Yeah.
And usually on July 4th, we do grill and bring the pool out for the kids, and then they have a good time. So we're potentially going to get a grill because we need one. So therefore, we look into what is the investment. Like,
what makes sense?
What makes sense getting this, right? And that's the thing about having a spouse where you can talk freely when it comes to making these large purchases, especially for the wives out there. It's so important for you not to be afraid to, you know, hey babe, what's going on? Let's just have a conversation. I know you want to buy this. Give me a reason why you want to buy it. Or is it going to benefit us? Is it going to...
Do we have the money?
Right.
Are we pulling money where we shouldn't be pulling money
correct.
from to buy
or we afford, since we both like in the highs 800 credit score, it doesn't make sense for us to get it.
Should we finance it, or does it even make sense to finance that? So all of these conversations we got to have.
You got to have
those conversations. And we got to leave emotions out of it.
Yeah.
No one should feel a certain way. It's just reality, and we have to have these conversations.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and it's important to set a spending limit.
Yeah.
That's where you don't go beyond a certain point.
Yes.
And when you hit that limit, it's a hard stop.
It's hard for me when it comes to Amazon. I'm being honest. It's hard for me when it comes to certain places. Unfortunately, it's hard for me when it comes to Amazon, and that's one of my weakness.
They make it so simple to get stuff, and you know the prices may seem low, but when you take 10 items at $20 a piece, it adds up.
But think about you driving to the store where you don't have to drive to the store.
Oh, I don't normally drive to the store, you know. But listen, it's convenient.
Yes.
And the amount of selections you have access to is limitless. You know, it's infinite. You can find whatever you want from there. Yeah. She's got cups.
Moving on.
She's got issues with these things.
Moving on.
She's got about.
Okay.
One day I'm gonna line them all up and show you what she's now.
We had one last.
She
Sunday.
recently got another one, and
Baby,
I pretended that I did not see.
Okay.
Not granted, it's $20. What would you pay for it? It wasn't expensive.
But I did let you know about it.
Yeah, I know about it. I saw you were shouting me about it. You saw it, and I'm like, I know you have enough already. I don't even see this one. And she had been looking at it. She put it in the cart. I saw it. And then, is it yesterday or the other day? Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it was like 2 days ago. She came and said, oh, she hasn't been in our front porch since that time we saw that thing. I have to go pick up stuff from the front porch. It's crazy. The thing's been dead and gone. Well, I don't know if it died, but I chased it. But, you know, have a spending limit. Now, if she's going to buy something for $100 or $200, we talk about it. But the $20 things, she knows I see them, especially the drinking cups. I'm like, what the heck?
He knows that I have, everybody in my family knows this is something that
you've got drinking cup issues.
I do have that.
She doesn't have a Stanley cup though.
I don't need one. It's too expensive. See, I would rather buy this for $15 or $20.
No, that costs more than $15.
Okay.
I know that.
Okay, I rest my case. But here's the thing though. I do let him know, babe, I'm going to get this. I don't want you to judge me.
I'm judging.
But I'm going to get this. And when I got it last week, and I was like, I use my own money, just so you know. But here's the thing. Using my own money, meaning he still gets to see what's in that account, because we just have different accounts with our names, like his money, like, hubby's money, wife money. Like, if I'm low, he'll just transfer into my account. Well, he know where to go and replenish it from there. So it's just that I'm like, hey, listen, I use my liquid money to buy this, so not yours. So get over it.
What I'm hoping right now is that next week I don't see another drinking cup.
You will see another, because it's Starbucks has one. I gotta get it.
Because I'm running out of space to store those stuff. And I don't know, why would anybody need so. I saw a TikTok video the other day. This girl has one for her warm drink, her cold drink, her tea, her milk. I don't know why the girl needs to be drinking milk in a cup. She had 5 of them.
Her shake, honey.
Oh, she had her shake.
Her protein.
I don't know. I got lost by the time she hits the third cup. I was like, why so many things? Listen, I have one of them, and I only put my water in there, and that's it. I started carrying another one because I make my shake midday, because I try not to drink it early in the morning. But that's it.
You a man. You don't need.
Anyway, so much for cups and
I only have 10.
Crazy spending. It's important to maintain that one account that you buy your things out of. Yes. And I know you mentioned, hey, you spend your own money. Obviously, you pulled it from your own money.
That you put money
But it's good to have that, especially when it comes to if you're going to buy something for the other person, it's a gift and so forth. It's good to have your own little leisure money. That's what we call it. Each partner can have it. I do, and you do. We keep that, and we use it for little things.
Right.
Right. But the main accounts where main money, main transaction
Yeah.
goes in, we both need to have access to it because we need to know what's happening. And those are the things that cause problem in
Those are
relationship.
the things that cause problem, unfortunately, because
Yeah.
one party is keep taking money out of the account and the other one is not aware of money is being pulling out. Like when you think you have enough money saved for you to pay the bills or do whatever, then the other person is just like,
So-and-so's already bought like 300 cups from it.
and unfortunately, really bad. And unfortunately, that's the problem in our society, like our culture. I feel like that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our people get so used to the culture here, therefore they act like it. It's just so sad.
You know,
So sad.
one thing I want to say is, I think sometimes money can get in the way where it causes one spouse to disrespect the other, especially when it's the one spouse is making the money or making more of the money. So,
Yes.
you know, it's important
Yeah.
to respect your partner, your spouse, when it comes to money.
Oof.
Yeah, it's crucial to listen to each other's concerns and priorities.
I agree wholeheartedly. Yes. It
'Cause,
doesn't matter if you, the wife, make more than the husband. You should respect your husband regardless.
Yes. You know, if one feels strongly about a certain thing, maybe if one feels strongly about savings, that doesn't mean they're wrong.
Right.
There
Right.
are good reasons to save.
Absolutely.
If one feels, you know what, there's certain things we should be able to buy
Yeah.
because we can afford them.
Yes.
Those are valid conversations to have. This is not when you say, you know what, I make the money, I decided what we do with it. No. You're in a relationship. You need to be able to sit down and discuss whatever the proposal is and come to somewhat of a compromise. Sometimes you may end up buying things you may not have intended to buy, but through the conversation, you realize that it makes sense for the relationship. Or you may have to say, you know what, maybe we'll buy this in 2 years because right now
Right.
the priority
Right.
is to put money aside for
Yeah.
maybe a different goal we have.
Yeah.
But you got to do it in a respectful way.
In a respectful way.
Because when people are saying my money, oh man, they'll shut you off and says, you didn't make this money. This is my paycheck.
Yeah.
And I could choose to do whatever. Man, I've seen and I've heard conversation.
Wow. I'm sure. I'm sure.
Oh man, I have seen and people caught up attitude on, I made this money. So-and-so is doing this and this. They don't know how many. Listen, have that conversation with so-and-so, but have it in an environment where you can help him or her understand
Yeah.
why maybe spending money on this craziness doesn't make sense now. Or why spending money on this craziness may make sense now because of this, and this.
Right.
Right? So
Yes.
respecting each other is important and make decisions together. Listen, you're not always going to like every decisions that I may want to make, but if we sit together, come to a compromise, you may be the one compromising and maybe we'll go with my decisions, or it may be me compromising and go, but you can only achieve that when you sit down
Right.
and have a money conversation.
Yes. Whether if you like it or not.
Listen, we're not always going to like stuff. There are times that I've wanted to get something so bad that I would write a dissertation to help convince her. But you know what? She's got good points. And as much as I wanted to get that stuff, I said, you know what? Now it's not the time for it. And there's been the same thing on her part as well. Want to do this, but now it's not the best time for it. So when you have goals, certain things you want to do,
Right.
it makes it a lot easier to dismiss certain spending projects, right? Because at the end of the day, your goal takes priority. And
Right.
if it's a goal that we set together, that would be, you know what? We need to get a car. Now is not the time to go and buy this crazy thing for God knows what,
Yeah. Or,
or
buy
God
a
knows
house.
how much.
And then you
But,
go.
oh, maybe your goal is to buy a house. Your car can run for another 5 years. Let's keep it running while we'll put money on the side for the house.
Yes.
That's not when we're going to get a big car payment.
And that's going to lower your credit.
That's going to lower your credit. So when you can have these conversations and come to a compromise that makes sense for both parties, that helps strengthen your relationship. It helps build trust.
Yes.
And it helps you get closer with each other. Because if you can have those hard conversations with your partner, believe me, it'll be a breeze.
Yes.
having the not so hard conversation.
Yeah, I agree. And communication is the key, which is something we talk about a lot on the podcast. Communication is the key. Be open and knowing that, hey, I respect you. At the same time, I want us to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay? You have to.
Oh, absolutely. And listen, there's certain things we've been doing them for years. And so far, we understand each other. And I don't think we're going to have issues. But I'll tell you, sharing finances is a personal decision.
Sure is.
You know, the key is to approach it with openness, respect, and a shared commitment to your financial well-being as a couple.
Yes.
You gotta.
Yes.
You know, whether you choose to combine finances or maintain separate account, what matters most is fostering trust and unity in your relationship. And you always have to think of that.
Yes.
Because when you're in a relationship, you are in a relationship.
That's right. It's not just
money is important. And sometimes it may make sense to combine money. But remember, whatever you're doing is for the betterment of you and your partner in your relationship.
Yeah. And less argument too when you have everything in one place. Yes. Less argument.
Less argument. Hey, listen, see, now we've had our arguments, but you know what? We haven't argued over money. And I don't intend to argue over money. So that's my commitment to her. Money argument? No. If she wants this and she's so on it and I'm like, geez, I want to fight you, but I don't want to fight, I'll say take it. Or I'll say yes, and then I'll find a way to convince her. But we haven't gotten to that point yet. But you know what? It's a challenge. It's tough.
It is.
And if you're in a relationship, I'd say as tough as it may sound, try to have the money conversation early on.
Yes.
And with that, you can start determining when does it make sense to start joining your bank account, if it ever makes sense. Right. Believe me, there are people that it may not make sense to ever join bank account with them, which may means that it doesn't make sense to marry this person. Yeah, I think so. Right, you're right. And listen, I know we've shared a whole lot in the podcast, and hopefully that gives you guys some ideas. And we want to thank you for joining the Blissology Podcast today. If you enjoyed today's episode, which we haven't talked about money in a very long time, please subscribe and leave us some comments. I'd like to hear how you are handling the money conversation, the money challenges, the joint bank accounts in your own relationship.
Right.
Share it with us. I think you may be able to teach some of our people. And don't forget to join us next Saturday for another episode. I don't know what it's going to be about yet, but it is for sure that it's going to be something exciting.
Listen, and y'all know, it's July. Next time we see each other will be in
Yes, it'll be July. It'll be July. Hopefully we'll have some crazy blissful moment to share for July 4th.
And listen, next time we'll be seeing each other, it will be July.
Yes, it'll be July, and it'll be right after July 4th.
You sure?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Because next Thursday is July 4th.
You're right, baby.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to July 4th, and I'm sure you are too. And listen,
my God.
Be safe out there. I know a lot of you guys are going to be involved in a lot of gathering and partying and fireworks and all that stuff. Stay safe out there.
Stay safe.
We want you to be able to join the podcast next Saturday and listen to us. But we appreciate you guys, and it's an honor. It's a blessing to have you be part of this community that we've built. So thank you from the bottom of our heart. Have a happy Flag Day or 4th of July.
Yes.
So until next time, stay happy and keep building those great relationships.
That's right.
See you guys.
Bye.